Adrian Peterson, 2012. It's the greatest rushing season that the NFL has ever seen.
A modern player carrying the load against modern defenses and still cranking out 6 yards per carry. It's absolutely uncanny.
Let's go, fellas. It's time to move this rock.
Hand off Adrian to the left, steps up to the right, puts the 10 to the 5, Bulldogs to the end zone. Touchdown!
In 2012, Adrian Peterson unleashed an MVP season. He topped the 2,000-yard mark with over 6 yards per carry and fell just shy of the single-season rushing record.
Peterson, 199 rushing yards and 34 carries. He will finish 9 yards short of the all-time single-season record.
You said I was 9 yards away from it? Yeah. That's it? Yeah, that's it. Stand another year.
Many of the great running back seasons we see on this list coincided with great quarterback seasons. There was a Phillip Rivers or there was a John Elway taking some pressure off. Christian Ponder was not taking any pressure off Adrian Peterson. Just the opposite.
Fires to the end zone interception. You've got to be kidding me. After a 50-yard run by Adrian.
It's 2012 and Christian Ponder's thrown for 110 yards a week and the Vikings are winning games. You know, that's Adrian Peterson.
The St. Louis Rams use a 5-man defensive front. That's how dead set they were on stopping Adrian. He'd split the defense and run for a long touchdown.
Rams crowd the line of scrimmage. It's Peterson up the middle. He splits the defense. Goodbye, baby. That's an 82-yard touchdown by Adrian Peterson.
Hey, they can't stop us, man.
There's so many reasons that Adrian Peterson's 2012 season is one of the greatest in NFL history.
First and foremost is coming back from that torn ACL. That's just incredible.
In Week 16 of 2011, Peterson tore the ACL and MCL in his left knee and had it surgically repaired on New Year's Eve.
I mean, it's tough for a running back to have an injury like that and to come back and play football again. But here's again, Adrian Peterson came back and almost broke Eric Dickerson's record.
Focus on that area right there. Just watch the fluid push through.
Nobody said it's going to be easy.
But he's a freak.
It was like he went to see whoever made Lee Majors the $6 million man, and then they made him some sort of bionic commando running back hybrid, and he came back and he was better and stronger than ever.
Completely redefined what we think about knee injuries. Are we going to at some point say stop whining? It's only an ACL.
He ended up having 348 carries, which was the second most of his career. And then we find out after the season, of course, that he did that with a sports hernia. So on top of coming back miraculously from major knee surgery, he finished the season brilliantly with a sports hernia.
Overcome adversity.
I really think the man is made partly out of adamantium.
This guy should go to the Smithsonian. They got to study him. How can he do that? That's incredible to me.
I'm here to introduce the Fantasy Player of the Year, not to be confused with the Sexual Fantasy Player of the Year.
I'm sitting at my draft, and I'm sitting there in the 3rd round, and I'm looking at Adrian Peterson, right, or Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, and I'm debating, who do I want to take here?
Come on, man.
And that player is Adrian Peterson.
Because Adrian Peterson was available later in drafts, and he had such a historic season, I think we can make a good case that he was the most valuable fantasy running back pick ever.
And I just want to say to all the people that selected me in their fantasy football league that, hey, thank you for believing. Now I can share this with you on Twitter.
How Adrian Peterson is not atop this list, I think, is an absolute mistake.
What Adrian Peterson did in 2012 was the best we've ever seen from just a pure running standpoint.
The scary thing is when you come back from these injuries, everybody says it's the next year that he's going to be better. Oh, my God. Can he do it again?
The NFL will never, ever see again what Adrian Peterson did in 2012. The number 10 rookie season of all time, Adrian Peterson.
Who made up this list?
Hand off Adrian Peterson.
I mean, how could he be number 10?
This guy is insane.
He is the best running back I remember coming in the league for a long time.
I have not seen that kind of speed, that kind of size, that kind of strength in one running back, maybe ever in my lifetime.
With the 7th pick in the 2007 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Adrian Peterson.
Despite running for more than 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns in only 9 games in 2007, our number 10 rookie still can't dodge his skeptics.
I think Adrian Peterson is a little overrated. I think he's soft. He'll have a big game, then he'll disappear for a couple games. I'm not a huge Adrian Peterson fan.
He was a dominant player on a team that had the offensive line to allow his skills as a running back to shine.
But even Peterson's biggest doubters couldn't deny how impressive he was against the Bears in Week 6.
He had over 200 yards rushing in a game against the Chicago Bear defense that was one of the best in the National Football League.
Runs through a Bear, and Adrian goes! He's inside the 5, to the 20, great block by Ferguson! Touchdown!
He was against what I thought was a pretty good defense that all of a sudden looked like a Pop Warner team trying to catch him.
He breaks a tackle, and Adrian Peterson is loose!
All of a sudden, these guys who were supposed to be so good couldn't touch him.
And Adrian Peterson is gone!
I didn't want to believe the hype on Adrian Peterson when halfway through his rookie season, people are saying he's one of the greatest running backs ever, and he's only played like 7 games. And then he played the San Diego Chargers.
Jackson hands the ball off to Peterson. Hand off Adrian Peterson. 20 carries, 145 yards. 23 carries, 186 yards. Uncle, I mean, seriously.
It was 2 yards here, 3 yards here, but soon later, it's going to come open. And he rips off 296 yards against that defense. Sold, okay?
296 yards for Adrian Peterson, the greatest rushing performance in the history of the National Football League.
I think he got shortchanged at 10.
That's probably too low for him. I think he had an incredible impact right away in this league.
I mean, I'll tell you what, he's good. The Lions will get their hats handed to him, but that kid is sick.
Wondered when, if ever, will the defenders catch up to him. In that rookie season, the more and more he did, you just started to think that maybe they just can't catch up to him. Maybe this guy really is that good.
Number 1 player in the league this year.
I mean, let's be honest. AP will probably be number 1.
I have to go with Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson. AP, man.
It's a no-brainer. You gotta go with Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson right now? Yeah, Adrian Peterson.
After tearing the ACL and MCL in his left knee in Week 16 of the 2011 season, many wondered if Adrian Peterson would ever be the same.
That drive and that motivation he had to come back and prove everybody wrong, I mean, you could see it in the way he was working day in and day out.
We're in the indoor facility, and he's working out, doing all this lateral movement, running full speed on his leg, which, a couple months afterwards, no one does. And, I knew at that point, he'd said that his mind was set on getting back for the first game against Jacksonville, and I don't think anyone had the doubts that he was going to do it.
It's remarkable to see a player like that, to be so good and still work so hard. I think I can speak for most guys in the league. You admire stuff like that.
Take us one to the house.
Let's go.
Peterson started the opener against the Jaguars. Over the next 4 months, AP put together a season for the ages. The NFL's Offensive Player of the Year and League MVP, rushed for 2,097 yards. More than 24 teams in 2012.
Hand off Adrian up the middle, room to the 20, cuts to the left to the 25, and Adrian's loose! He splits the defense! 50, 40, 30, goodbye, baby! Touchdown!
Peterson ripped off 7 runs over 50 yards, tying the single-season record held by Barry Sanders. All day, also racked up a pair of 200-yard games and finished 9 yards shy of Eric Dickerson's single-season rushing record.
She said I was 9 yards away from it? Yeah. That's it? Yeah, and stand another year? Yeah.
I've had 3 ACLs in my life, all right? To come back the way that he did, literally like nothing happened, better than he was the year before, I don't understand it. It's got to be genetics, man.
I was going through the same thing he was going through. I had the same thing with a torn ACL and meniscus, and mine's happened first, then his happened. I'm like, man, I wish I could do that.
I don't think he's human. I think he's a robot.
I say if there is a human superhero, it's Adrian Peterson.
Man's Wolverine.
Oh, and Peterson did a great job. What a spectacular run. That was brilliant. Great run. That's one of the best 8-yard runs you'll ever see.
He's like playing Madden. I mean, just you're hitting the L1, R1 on your joystick. He's spinning.
And Adrian Peterson makes everybody who tries to tackle him look bad.
He has to have ankles of steel or something like that because it hurts my ankles to see him make cuts the way he does.
Adrian Peterson, my goodness. What a brilliant cut to the left.
Hey, that's a hell of a cut, boy. Hell of a job, boy.
One time, I went to tackle him. It was this season. I went to tackle him. He gave me an in and out move, and I reached.